Alright, so finally here at the Dole. Just walking up to the Dole area now. Probably see the crowd in front. Not a massive crowd. Probably a couple of hundred people. Maybe 100-200 people. Supposed to be expected after such a big protest. So we'll have a little walk around, see what's happening. Alright man, how are you? Good to see you too. Not too bad, how are things? Good crowd, isn't it? It is, yeah. I thought it'd be like 20, 30. Yeah, well, I think I'm going to go to the park. I'm going to go to the park. $500 he's waiting for after. Yeah. There's a bit more respectful after all the farmers. It's good shells. Go happy again. My son was gone 6 weeks ago. I didn't have any he was asleep in the pool on the way up. I got some of the boys on top over that today. The swarm of wasps following him up. It's another way to hippie them like I'm telling you. Stay there. Morgan. Yeah, audit in Ireland, like so. Ah, right, how's it going? Not bad, everything. Good to meet you. I have seen our farm. How many of us? Please. Oh, there you are. Good enough numbers. More than was to be expected. Then we have the Masonic Hall here. About 200-300 meters away from the Dole. See if we can get this to zoom in. There we go, so we have the Dole there, and then the Masonic Lodge here. So we have 300 years of Irish Freemasonry. Might see if we can go in later on. It is open to the public. So it's going to be a season of protests. So from now, we might get small, sporadic protests. And then come July, when Ireland takes up the EU presidency, I'm sure there'll be a lot more activity. What the farmers and hauliers are going to do beyond what happened in the last couple of days, I don't know. I don't think a 10-cent fuel reduction is going to do it. Whatever rebates they've been given, I would imagine that's going to be swallowed up fairly soon. But fairly good natured here, like there's a good vibe, music, little barking dog. Roosevelt's Hotel, very famous hotel in Dublin. Sorry about your church. Move away from the yapping dog. So I can't stream from YouTube directly. So I'm trying this Black Magic app, so I don't even know if it'll work. I don't have access to chat in YouTube, so it's a bit of an experiment today to see if this system works. So we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, there's other things happening in Ireland. Well, there's a lot happening in Ireland. So the International Protection Bill, that's in the last stages of ratification now, so it's just gone to President Catherine Connolly to sign the bill, which she's called Convention, just to see if it's constitutional. She's not going to make a decision on it yet, so she'll convene with the council, talk to her advisors, and I should have word on that by Monday. So there's some constitutional issues around freedom of movement, family reunion for refugees, and issues around detention. The advisors she chose are very heavily stacked. I suppose you can call it on the left, so a lot of them are human rights lawyers. Then the other members of the council are going to be made up of previous Taoiseachs and the like. And so we'll see if it gets referred to the Supreme Court. If it does, and the Supreme Court judges that it is indeed constitutional, well then it will forever remain within the Constitution. If she doesn't refer it, well then any citizen can refer a case to the Supreme Court. Of course it's heavily weighted because with constitutional issues you're limited on what cases can be brought, so anybody who leans right or has any issues around mass immigration into Ireland, I don't think those issues are going to be brought up as it relates to the Constitution at that particular meeting, but we'll see what happens. Very rarely, if ever, do bills get referred to the Supreme Court. I think it's happened maybe 13 times in total in the history of the state, with an even or almost even split of 7 bills were ruled to be constitutional and 6 ruled to be unconstitutional. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll probably discuss that on the anti-broadcast channel with myself and my good friend Howard. So if you're listening in, be sure to check out that channel. That's the anti-broadcast, ANTIBOOADCAST. Check that out. It's a long-form channel. Lots of conversations covering everything really. It's an eclectic mix, so everything from pure nonsense to geopolitics, local politics, a little bit of philosophy, a lot of politics, some good arguments, some good guests, so be sure to check that out when you get a chance. If you are listening to this, if you can do me a favour, please like and
I'd like to
subscribe.
thank everybody who turned up here today to support this protest. This protest is an anti-government protest. It's against the government policy that are crushing the working man and woman in Ireland. They have a housing crisis that they don't want to fix. Instead, they're bringing more people in to fill these houses that are getting built ahead of the Irish people. I live in Drogheda, and in the 2-week run up to Christmas, there was 24 council houses handed out to 24 non-Irish families. Not one Irish family got a key of a house in Drogheda. And they're building flat out. As the houses go up, there's people that are in this country, and the government, from their own stats, have admitted to the people that 90% of them will not pass their asylum applications. So why are we paying for 9 out of 10 people that have no right to be here? Because I have to work. I, like many others here. Now I took, you're going to see the lefties now later on looking at these videos and saying dole heads and saying unemployed. Like, the lefties are actually unemployable, and that's why the lefties join NGOs. NGOs are supposed to be non-government organisations. 60% of the NGOs in this country are lobbying groups. They go and they push their policies on the government, and then the government pushes the NGO policies back on the working man and woman of this country. Now, there was a tragedy from one of our blockade protesters that was on O'Connell Street last week. And, you know, that could be only the start of it. I know a lot of businessmen, a lot of hauliers, a lot of coach companies are really, really struggling at the minute. The fuel has gone up, but they're in contracts with schools. They can't raise their fares. And that's the reality of it. That government in there sent away 784 million last year to foreign aid. Foreign aid. And when they gave the 250 million to the truckers and the hauliers and the farmers and the rest of us, that actually equates to only 2 cents at the pumps. They took 17 cents off in a 250 million deal, and within a week and a half, that 17 cents had gone up by 19 cents. So then they took another 10 cents off, and they think that we're supposed to be grateful. It's our money that they're spending. I don't go out to work to pay a migrant's rent. I go out to pay my own rent. I go out to pay my own living expenses. And I do not agree to my taxes going on IPAS accommodation. And then I spoke up on O'Connell Street last Saturday, and I actually got ridiculed and attacked by one of the truck drivers who I was there to support. I worked all week last week, and as soon as I finished work on Friday, I went home and had a wash. I jumped on the train and I came in. I didn't get home till after midnight, and I was back in Dublin at 10:30 the next morning. And I warned the crowd. I warned the crowd that the guards might be all chatty and friendly with them all week, but as soon as they get their orders, and by the second time I went on the microphone, they had gotten their orders in Whitegate, and they were pepper spraying, they were battening, they were corralling, and they were assaulting the Irish public. Now, there's a chap here, PJ, I'm going to get him up to say a few words. He was a medic in Whitegate last week, and he'll have a lot more information on what went on down there. It was absolutely disgusting. It's 110 years since the Irish government turned the army on its own people. And 110 years later, they did it again. Nobody signs up for Oleg Naharan to turn on their own people. And I don't know what the crack is with getting into the guards now. Do you have to be a Freemason? Because as far as I can see, they've no moral compass. They've no empathy. No empathy with the working person. And we seen that with Garda Gillian O'Donoghue driving down to Cork with her husband last week. And she called us wankers, spastics, scumbags. And she loved to punch us in the face. That is a servant guard in Killarney Garda Station. And if she thinks that way, what's to make us think that all of the others don't think the same way? Because I'm just sick of being treated as less than in my own country. We're treated as less than the people that shouldn't be here. We're treated as less than the people across in that building. None of them in that building are any better than us. And everybody that goes into politics goes in with the best of intentions. And as soon as they join a party and they're told what way the whip works, they have lost their own autonomy. They're just part and parcel of a machine. And that machine is here to crush us, but we're here today to let that machine know we will not be beaten. We will not be broken. We won't be bribed. We won't be blackmailed. And we will keep turning up. And it's important that we turn up to events like this, just to show solidarity with each other. I noticed when I'm looking around the crowd here, right, and last week when I looked around the crowd, how many of our coloured arrivals were there to support us in a fuel strike? None. None. They've Irish passports all right, and they'll flash them in the welfare office. But they won't come up here and stand with the Irish people that are welcoming them into their country, even though 9 out of 10 of them are not really welcome. It goes to show that the government policy at the minute is more to do with granting citizenship to economic migrants. So they'll drive the wages of every man and woman that's working in Ireland down. They will drive the wages down. And I said this before, the Minister for Justice, Jim O'Callaghan, when he came out about 6 or 7 months ago, and he admitted that some of the I-Pass residents were in employment. And he said they may be asked to contribute in a year's time. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. Free accommodation, free laundry, free food, free money, and absolutely no contribution back to the people that's helping you. That's what I see. So I'm going to ask PJ to get up here. He was a medic in Whitegate, and he'll fill you in on exactly what went down, hour by hour, minute by minute. Thanks very much for everyone for turning up. Aaron Gabra, God bless you.
Hello folks, how are you? Hello guard, you've the old arms folded there, you're paying attention. And do pay attention because this is the state of our country. I'm 55 years of age. I was a medic abroad. I was a nurse for 20 years here. I'm retrained as a blacksmith now. That's a bit of a journey, like. I'm living in North Cork. Anthony Kelleher, that was the organiser of Whitegate, that was the first truck to come in, was a great buddy of mine. I knew on Friday Anthony had no medical help. I got on a train on Saturday because we have an autistic son at home who's got peg tube, in nappies, non-verbal. And fathers here in this country don't get acknowledgement for the carers' work they do, and partners of people, and people are soldiering alone. And I got on that train and I went down to Whitegate and got through 4 checkpoints and 3 barricades. I'm not going to tell you how that happened, but thank you, Bus Ireland. But I got in there, and what I feared happened. 2 guards lost the run of themselves and started spraying pepper spray during a hard push from the public order unit, which could have caused untold damages to people, where 200 people were pushed back through a place between 2 tractors that was 4 feet wide, where they wanted you to go running backwards, but there was people being crushed. They kept that on that day until they drew a straight line straight across the protests and pushed them back. Pushed their fellow countrymen back. Where they fucking pushed them and shoved them and bait them, and one man got pulled from a tractor and he got fucking kicked and fucking stamped on. And this is the Gardaí who are the guardians of peace in our country. These are the people, the preserve of law and order, turning their fists and their boots on us. 100 years just over since we took this country back after 800 years of misery, hardship, emigration and death. And what have we got now? The old fucking house that was in the Lord Lieutenant's is now got a new Lord Lieutenant from Turner's Cross in fucking Cork. Micheál Martin, that I sat opposite the Board of Management in Cork RTC when as a fresh TD he was. He fell asleep during Board of Management meetings. He was fucking useless then. He's fucking dangerous now. The deal that he announced was not a deal. It was a closed sectional instruction. A closed sectional instruction given by fucking Europe to stop us linking up with the French farmers came from Ursula von der Leyen. He had to get EU approval for that deal. They spent less in that deal, 505 million this tranche, and if you want to put in the other 250, we'll even give them that. They spent less than what they spent, 725 million on account for inflation, than what they spent saving RTE. That fucking cesspit government mouthpiece. They think more about a fucking television station and a radio station than they do about you, all of us. That's what they think. That's more important. The IRHA went in there and the IFA and they did a deal for the biggest lads in the IRHA and the IFA. They didn't do it for the small farmer, the small agricultural contractor, the local rural business person, all of you urban and rural putting petrol and diesel into your cars, the carers taking care of the elderly, the pensioners on fixed income, the people that are fucking running to stand still, and now the weakest are falling by the side, as we saw with that poor man, and I've had a report of a second one, so it's now doubled. Folks, A couple of businesses by me are now putting up shutters. What we saw in 2008 when our youth left this country to go to Australia, to New Zealand and to Canada, where girls as nurses and teachers went to Dubai, when our men went mining on Queensland, when they went to Canada logging, when they were working in factories abroad and we knew they never came home. We had country wakes every week in North Cork. We're going to see the same up to the end of this year where our youth is going to empty. In North Cork, we are literally lacking 80% of our 30 to 45-year-olds. They're gone. What are left at 20%, we're going to see half of them go. We're not fools. We've seen this before. We're realists. And that deal that was done behind interest, the IRHA and the IFA never stood up for the representatives put forward by the truckers and the rest of the lads on the front fucking line. They never spoke up for them. They closed the door for Micheál Martin. And they came out with a deal that was absolutely useless. In this country, we gave 125 million to Ukraine in the last while. We're told there's no money for mental health services. Helen McEntee fucked off to Ukraine with 40 million in her purse in her back pocket. Yet children strangled with scoliosis. 98% of the new bills last year, lads, of all the houses in this country were bought by industrial landlords. 2% went on the open market for your sons and daughters and nephews and nieces and brothers and sisters to fight over to buy. Because the only other option is industrial fucking landlordism and the likes of Iries. And what do? They're owned and bought by fucking stockholders and they export the profits abroad. Circle K, who came down with a fucking truck to Whitegate. Who owns Circle K? Circle K is owned by a Canadian teachers' pension fund. When you fill up at Circle K, you send the profit straight off to Canada. Are you aware of that? Now, there you go. And Micheál Martin is glad to do business with these people. He fucking berated Lowry like a maniac while he was in opposition. But now Lowry's his good friend. And we saw how good a friend he was this week when he turned around and marshalled the troops. We had the two fucking rats from Kerry that I know personally jump fucking ship before they were pushed in the next election. And I can tell you this much, lads, they will hold fucking tight. They think they will hold tight. What we need to do, every fucking parish, every county, every province, we need to play their games against them. On the evening after the deal, every TD came out. Fianna Fáil, Fianna Gael, Fianna Fáil, Fianna Gael. Support the deal, support the deal. We're wonderful, we're brilliant. That's what we got. Carefully curated Instagram and Facebook posts from them. And they're telling us that they're representing us. They're representing you by taking off their boot and putting a slipper on to put it down on your fucking neck. Is what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They are emptying rural Ireland. They are making urban Ireland impossible to live in, where you can't find a house. When you do find a house, you can't afford to furnish it or buy food for your own bloody children. They are making it so impossible that they are driving us back to the days of Prince John in England. And I can tell you this much, folks, what we need is a few Robin Hoods. That's what we need. And every single one of you is a Robin Hood. Every single one of you, by saying nothing, lets them win. It only takes a few good men to say nothing for evil to succeed. Every single one of you will talk to 4 people today. You will tell those 4 people to talk to 4 people. All of you lads down there in front of me, you will all do this live and put this fucking out. And you will take this message to every bloody corner continent of this world. We spent 800 years fighting. We got off one knee last weekend in Whitegate, and that was just us. All of you can get off a knee as well. All of you can come forward, stand up, make right in this country. have it so that we have a system, like Chris was saying, where the money that's paid, there is accountability. Where even, for example, that we have recall for our TDs. If he proves to be a cunt that we've elected, then we'll pull him back and fuck him out. There we go. There we go. Very easy. Accountability. And we'll do it with councillors. And we'll do it with the fucking that. We'll do fundamental fucking change, root, branch, every part of review of it. Because I can tell you this much. There is money pouring out of that place like what's pouring down the Liffey in water. It is going to every section except where it's supposed to go. I'm waiting for respite for our son for 9 months now. I'm taking it to the High Court. We've had one night off in 9 years for a wedding. I'm glad I made that wedding because we lost a friend shortly thereafter. I sat down with a friend of mine, he works with the UN, but he's one of our own. Dr. Damien McSweeney, he's watching this out from Bulgaria. Hello Max, how are you doing? And lads, we sat down over a bottle of poutine in North Cork one night. And we counted 41 people in this country that we knew, he knew, and I knew that had committed suicide. And it's a scourge. And it is going to get worse. People are running to stand still. I'm urging you, I'm urging everyone that's seeing this, stand up, come forward, be there, fight! Because without it, we might as well fucking roll over, lads. Now, I think the tablets have kind of worn off a bit. So I'm going to pass it back to Alan there. He knows what he's doing. He just asked me. I asked him for permission. He gave me permission. Thank you for listening to me. It has been one of the most proudest moments of my life. Thank you.
I'm going to hand you over to John Malloy just briefly there. He wants to make an announcement.
You better announce that Sky News is posted.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are we all doing? I normally stand down there, but I'm going to stand up here for a second. Okay, my name is John Malloy. Some of you out there know who I am. I represent not just myself, but I represent a group of people called the Risen People. The reason why I'm here today is just for myself, and I want to express my feelings of what happened over this last few days. And I want you to join me in something in 1 second, if you will. A few days ago, after protests that were on here in Dublin, a young man down the country went to himself and thought, I've had enough. He fought battles in his own head. We all fight battles. Now, that young man, from what I can gather, wasn't actually involved directly up here in Dublin, but indirectly as a farmer, the government put pressure on him. And as a young man, where he wanted to try and succeed, in his own head he was failing. He wasn't failing, the government was failing him. And at this moment in time, that family of that young man is now grieving his departure from this earth. So on behalf of myself and on behalf of everybody here, I want to express our sincere sympathy to that young man's family, to his farming friends, to the family friends, to the communities around where he is, and from the communities that are standing up here today fighting the battle for him. I'd like you all to join me in a 1 Our Father and 3 Hail Marys, if you don't mind, to help that young man's soul pass on up to heaven and up to the arms of angels, where they will look after him, and hopefully God will come down and look after his family, because they're going through torture. So if you wouldn't mind, join me on that. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day.
We forgive those who trespass against us, and deliver us from evil.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. May his soul and all the souls of the faithful departed rest in peace. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce two friends of mine. Thank you. I'd like you to allow me to introduce two friends of mine up on stage in 1 second, because today we've asked, or I've asked, and a good few people have asked, that we put together a petition, a hard copy petition of signatures of the people of this country that are anti-government and that is against everything that those crowd up there are pushing on us. We employ these people to look after us. It's time to sack them. Get them out! Get them out! To continue that one, we have a president. Yeah, we have. So I've been told we have. No, it's maybe it's a rumor, but I've been told there's a president up there in the White House in the Phoenix Park. Am I wrong? Okay. But that president was selected, was not elected by the people of this country. And that president, by rights, should be standing up for each and every one of you as well. That president has a constitutional right to stand up for you people. We are signing a hard copy petition. We also have a letter which will be read out for you in English and Asgaelga in 2 minutes, that we're actually putting into an envelope. We're sealing it with the petitions as we gather them, and we're giving that to her by hand, not by courier, not by email, by hand, in her gate. And we're asking her to address this. Her failure to address this will be detrimental to her being up in that office. Because the next thing we will do as a nation, if they don't listen to us, and if she doesn't listen to us, well, you all know the answer. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Fiona and Deborah, or Dee. Where's Deborah? Deborah! Call Wilton. Where are you? We should wait her grand entrance. God bless her. Go there. No bottles. Yes. Have a bottle, right?
But I need to pass that footage that back down to my guys in Cork. How would they find it?
Oh yeah, I can give you. Sorry, what did we start?
We're buddies.
I have all. Okay, I don't know what that's priority. What is it? Priority? Like, where's that from?
How do you spell that?
It's B-I-O-R-Y. It's from Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi. Right. I'm one of their staff. I'm independent. Oh, and then you sell the photographs to Abu Dhabi, is it? Ah, right. Okay. And yeah, absolutely, you're recording me. And so I just want to ask you, what's the
So do not, don't ignore our own media.
my God. And thank you very much for letting me know. Thank you very much for...
Hello? Goodness is Toshi Balgalir and you. Fiona Niv Willingness Anam Dum. August Tommy Con Litter Don on Ultras Leavenish. O Nadina O Era. Hi, my name is Fiona Mills. I'm going to read a letter in English. The Irish version seems to have gone missing. And it's basically from We the People to the President of ERA with regards to our constitutional rights. Okay, I'm going to start with Article 43 of An Bunreacht 1937, which states a copy of An Bunreacht will be held, a true copy of An Bunreacht will be held in evidence in the Supreme Court in case of conflict between the Irish and English text. The Irish text shall prevail. And so far, every constitution this government is stepping all over. Our constitution protects us from EU laws. It trumps EU law. So the EU law means nothing in this country once we start to actually... The blue book is missing a shite load of articles, whereas the yellow book has all 63 articles in it. In 1939, Fianna Fáil went into the Dáil when Germany invaded Poland and decided to fraudulently change the constitution. Okay, but the true copy is still held intact. No amendments, no statutes, no nothing on it in the Supreme Court. And this is what our Article 1 in the Constitution of Bunreacht tells us what we can do with regards to our government. 1, 2 and 6. Right, there's a load of other ones, but these are the problem ones. Also, there's a letter that's written by the people of ERA for Patrick Connolly, or meant to be sitting president. Obviously, she has been hidden and has not spoke. With all the pain and hurt that's going on in this country, with the way we people are being treated. Now, I am not far right, far left, diddly squat. I am an Irish woman, an Irish living woman. I do not go under maritime law. I'm not a mermaid. And I do not go under corporate law. I go under God's law. And our constitution, it's under God's law we live. Okay, the letter in English. We the people of ERA, the 17th of April 2026. To President Catherine Connolly, Orison Uachtaráin, Phoenix Park, Dublin 8. We the Irish people are finished watching you, your government, destroy our country. While 17,308 of our own Irish men and women and children, including thousands of kids, are homeless and sleeping in tents on our streets. You roll out the red carpet for foreigners. They get free houses, free money, free medical cards and priority health care, while our own people are left waiting in pain and sleeping rough. Our young Irish people cannot afford to buy houses or even rent a decent home in their own country. They are trapped living at home in tiny box rooms, unable to start their lives, while foreigners are housed before them. This is heartbreaking. Our young nurses and talented young people in general, all educated with the Irish taxpayers' money, are being forced to leave their homeland in their thousands. They go to Australia, Canada, elsewhere for better wages and for a decent life, because this government has made it impossible for them to live.
journalist. No, I may not, but I do understand the Irish situation.
Alright, step away from the noise for a moment. So take a cigarette break. Right, I'll cut this stream just to see if there's actually is streaming. Just probably not, but I'll be back in a few minutes.